Cheat on my friend and the gift that keeps on giving. Edit, too long, didn't read. Gummy bears are taking over the world, run now while you have a chance. Many years ago, I had a friend Mike that met a stupidly pretty girl. In a couple months she moved in with him, they became a couple, and he paid for her collage studying to be a vet tech. We didn't know at the time she was living with someone else when she met Mike and Monkey branched over to him. Young and stupid. Mike had a good job, regular hours, as easygoing a guy as you can possibly imagine. No drugs, light social drinking, didn't smoke, just no bad habits. Something about her set me on the back foot, nothing I could put my finger on at the time, but just a little too friendly flirty. With her personality and looks she got away with it. I know that red flag now. Nearly 2 years into this relationship, an electrical transformer failed at Mike's workplace, was going to take 3 days to fix, so the company sent everybody home for that time. About 10:30 a.m. Mike took his pickup truck to the city waste disposal and got a big load of mulch for the backyard shrub beds and went in the home through the alley, backed up to the house, went in through the garage door. He never saw the driveway out front. Mike goes in through the garage to get tools, hears something and goes through the kitchen to the living room to find his girlfriend and her platonic friend, both in their underwear, the house smelling like SX, she's sitting on his lap drinking Mike's beer. She's supposed to be at school. The school he's paying for. Mike stays behind the corner and listens. She is telling the guy what a wimp my friend Mike is, how his manhood is the size of a gummy bear, how she can't believe how stupid Mike is that he hasn't figured this out in almost a year, etc. Mike goes back out, does the job at hand, takes care of the mulch, then sits in a patio chair. Eventually she notices his truck in the backyard and goes looking. He won't look at her, speak to her, won't respond at all. She calls his brother who tells her to call an ambulance since Mike's brother thinks he's had a stroke or something. She thinks Mike is catatonic, he just doesn't want to deal with her. The police arrive with EMS, the officer is a long-time friend from grade school on. Mike turns the ambulance away, and the police officer calls his closest friends, including me when Mike tells him what happened and he doesn't want to look at or talk to her. Mike won't say a word to her, or when she's around, won't look in her direction. Probably shock, anger, rejection, which kind of freaked the officer out and I can't blame him. He eventually talks to us. The cat is out of the bag. The officer, being smarter than us on this stuff, has a plan, checks her ID for address for his report. She's never changed her address to his. He owns the home, the vehicle she's driving, not on the mortgage or paying rent, so she gets a no trespassing order, sent away under threat of arrest if she insists. Probably not entirely legal, but she bought it. She leaves. We lock up her car in the garage, remove the battery since she has keys, and change the door locks that evening. Her stuff, every scrap, gets boxed up and dumped off at her platonic friend from school apartment. If this were the end of it, no revenge. She knew how to open the glass slider door. He comes home after about 3 weeks of ignoring her to find the house trashed. She threw something sticky on the car, threw flour on that, squirted chocolate sauce from the fridge all over the interior, utterly trashed the house, with the kitchen being the worst. Couldn't prove it was her. But she got a visit from police anyway. She tried to get the phone number from the married police officer friend but never admitted anything. Now it's revenge time. I was an outpatient going to the VA, in that town twice a week for physical therapy, the only one of the bunch that didn't have a daytime job. The platonic friend she moved in with kept getting wet sticky gummy bears stuck to his doors, windows, to his floor in front of his apartment, all over his vehicle, and it kept happening. I don't know if he got evicted or got tired spooked about it, but he moved and didn't take her along with him. Eventually she moved in with some of her high school friends going to college in a city about 50 miles away. She wasn't in college anymore since the money got cut off. But they got gummy bears once a week since I had to go to the VA hospital in that city once a week by that time. She wound up doing stripping to pay her share. Some of the college girls did, not totally uncommon. Gummy bears sent to her at the strip joint to her stripper name. The creepy, evil-faced kind with fangs and crap. The girls graduated, moved in 2 years after Mike. She was on her own, got knocked up by a street artist that fled back to wherever when she told him. She delivered twins with no idea where the guy was. She was a twin, one of 8 siblings. Important, later she had triplet brothers. Her mother was a twin. That was actually a running joke when she was with Mike. We told him that with fertile myrtle he needed condoms made by Mack trucks, the same rubber thickness as a truck tire inner tube. The gummy bears continued. She got her body part way back after the pregnancy, not like before, but strippers come in all shapes and sizes. Went back to stripping and collected welfare on the kids. But the gummy bears kept coming. People in welfare housing will do anything for a few bucks. She met a guy from several states away, ran away with him, got knocked up again, the guy disappeared again, triplets this time. We found out later when she comes back she had 7 frigging kids in those years. At least the gummy bears stopped since no one here knew where she was, not even her family. So skip forward about 25 years of no contact. The kids aged out of the welfare system. She moved back to the area and in with her mom. Seems welfare for the kids and stripping doesn't have the best retirement plan. She had the gall, the self-entitled ego, to friend every one of Mike's friends on social media. We were supposed to rug sweep the entire affair and accept her again. Nope, I'm sure in her self-absorbed, narcissistic mind she didn't cheat, she didn't crush Mike, she didn't trash his house. But every action has an opposite and equal reaction. It's the way of the universe. She got a lot of pictures of gummy bears, but no one was going to friend her. Not taking go away as an answer, she had the gall to stalk social media and show up where we had group events in public places. The gummy bear deliveries started again. Action and reaction. My friend Mike died of cancer just over a year ago. She had the gall to show up at the funeral home. She met a wall of Mita's friends that told her exactly where to go. He had a good woman that stuck with him through thick and thin, and the two didn't meet. After she showed up at the funeral, in less than a week, someone poorly stenciled gummy bears on the 20-year-old piece of junk she was driving with spray paint, all the way down the side and across the back while she was at her fast food job. The bears were pornographic, not cute and cuddly. Action and reaction. Jump forward a year, she decides to show up to dinner drinks, partly a tribute to Mike being gone a year. Recently she got a 10-pound size see-through gummy bear with a S toy inside. Action and reaction. The S toy says platonic friend down the side. The gummy bear is made of virtually indestructible resin. You can find the molds online. Yes, Dorothy, revenge can come past the grave. Mike's friends are semi-retired or retired, and we have a lot of time on our hands. Don't screw with lifelong friends. Edit postscript. Only an idiot compares random gummy bears to murder, genocide, abuse, etc. Save the woke TikTok BS for someone that buys that nonsense play for some kind of non-existent internet points. Get over yourselves already. Story 2. Caught fiancé at hotel, help needed. Need help. Caught my fiancé at a hotel with a guy. So let me try to sum this up and paint the picture as best as I can. Me 38 and my fiancé 40 have been together for 2 years and have a 20-month-old daughter together. She has a 19-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. So I would say the issues started after our daughter was born. She started complaining that I wasn't giving her enough attention, being attentive to her. I wasn't pursuing her anymore or taking her out. I tried explaining to her things are different because she have a child which requires a lot of our attention, and that I would try to work on those things. I recall one fight got really bad about a year ago and she told me she wasn't in love with me anymore and that the spark was gone between us and didn't know if it could ever get it back. So anyway, we ended up getting past that and moving on. About 2 months ago we got into a big fight because her older daughter was going for a cyst removal procedure and I didn't call to check up on her throughout the day, and I tried to explain I was extremely busy at work that day and that I couldn't. So she went off on me and how I'm selfish, narcissistic, a boss and only care about myself. I was honestly caught off guard by it, so I got angry in return and we just stopped talking. She was scheduled to go back to her country the next week to visit her mom and sisters. The whole week went by and we didn't talk or anything. I drove them to the airport and dropped them off and nothing, still didn't talk. She gets there and texts me we need to talk and I'm still super angry about the situation and I tell her go duck yourself and she replied oh wow okay. So she's there for 10 days and I only talk through FaceTime with my daughter. When she would pick up she would just hand the phone to my daughter. So we didn't speak that whole time and she gets back, I go pick them up from the airport. Abs, we're still not talking, very awkward. This is going on 2 weeks now not talking. One day after work, it's the day before Halloween and I get home and she's showering and dressed very revealing and tells me she's going out with friends. Okay, I stay home with our daughter and she gets home at 6 a.m. The next day I went off on her, calling her every name in the book, whore, slut, etc., saying how she could be out till that time. She tell me that we haven't talked in almost 3 weeks and that she basically considers us not together at this point. We eventually sort of make up but didn't really get any real clarity on this we're not together BS. So anyway, at this point we're talking, not how we normally would. She's acting sort of cold and distant, but I'm trying to do little things to make her happy. One night after work I calls her and she tells me she's going out to eat with family at a restaurant, so I go there to surprise then. I get there and call and she tells me they changed their minds and went to a different place, so I ask where and she wouldn't tell me. Very strange. My gut at this point tell me something is up, so I order a tracking device and put it in her car. One day after work I call her 4x, she doesn't pick up. She calls me back and I hear an echo in the background like she was in a bathroom. So I ask her why she's calling me from a bathroom when she told me she was getting a massage, that why she couldn't just pick up the phone on the chair. She gives some BS excuse. So then I ask her, I have a feeling something is going on. Can you tell me the truth? And she goes, why you feel guilty? Are you doing something? And hangs up the phone on me. I checked the GPS on the tracking device and it's right in front of a hotel when she told me she was at a massage parlor. Feeling of rage, betrayal, and just beyond hurt. So I steer driving towards this hotel and get there and see her car parked right in front. I sit and wait for about an hour and finally I see her walking out with a guy. I storm towards them, get in both their faces. God help me how I didn't put my hands on this dude, and I cursed her out. The hotel called the cops on me. I was so irate, I was seeing red. I get in my car and drive home. She eventually comes home too, and tries to justify that she's been asking for me to be more attentive, fun, going out more passion, and that I didn't give it to her for over a year and that she had enough and that she considered herself single, that I pushed her to that point. So then she confesses that she's been talking to this dude since she went to her country about a month ago, and that he's been going to her job being her food. They went out to lunch, and the night she was out until 6 a.m., she was with him. But get this, she claims they never had time, all they did was kiss, and that it was more emotional than physical. Like, how stupid does she think I am? And goes, know how much information she's telling me. I'm sure there's much more to it. It's been 2 weeks now and I just feel disgusted at times. I get these vivid imaginations in my head of her ducking him. And I confront her about it and she will not admit to it. She even swore on both her daughters. Where to go from here? I'm sure everyone will tell me to just leave, but it's not easy. Story 3, I am a completely unsuspecting fool. After 38 years of marriage, 3 grown married children, and 5 precious grandchildren, she pulls this essay. I have worked my ass off to finally be debt-free and 2 years away from retirement. She tells me she is in Arizona for an educators conference she is required to attend. I dropped her lying ass off at the airport with plans to pick her up Thursday. A coworker of mine is in Vegas for a PBR event. He sends me a picture of her in a casino with our primary care physician. So, it's Christmas and all the kids are coming here. I have looked forward to hunting with my son and grandsons. I don't know if I should blow the thing to hell, or play it cool until after Christmas. I guess I could gather more evidence if I just pick her up and act as if all is well. I am not sure I can do that, but the other choice is to devastate my children at a terrible time of the year. This bish sang a solo in church Sunday before she caught a flight on Monday to spend the week ducking the doctor. I have never suspected her cheating in over 40 years of our relationship. I damn sure never have. I guess the life I was so secure in is over. I am glad my parents are not here to see this. I may just catch a flight tomorrow and find their ass. Probably use different names. The hell of it is both my brothers are dead and there is nobody I can tell this asset to. Maybe the pastor. Hell, she is probably blowing him too. Duck duck duck. Update for those who are interested. Thanks to everyone for your support over the last few days. I have received many messages asking for updates. I have also been given good advice, and it has given me the opportunity to vent at a time I have to act as if all is well. 1. I took some time off from work and am at my camp. 2. My wife's sister picked her up at the airport Thursday evening. 3. I hired a lawyer and a pie recommended by the lawyer. 4. I have not confronted my wife, nor have I told anyone about the pictures from Vegas other than my lawyers and Reddit. 5. My wife believes I am at the camp because a big buck I have hunted for a couple of seasons is back on my plot cameras. 6. We have talked by phone and texted several times. Just ordinary conversation. She has no reason to suspect I have started an investigation into her trip or her life. Every communication has ended with "I love you," just as it always has. 7. I have followed my lawyer's advice concerning our financial position. 8. The pie has already informed me he was able to confirm an affair has existed between her and the doctor for over a year. We will learn in time how long it has gone on. 9. She did not attend a conference in Arizona. She spent every night she was gone in Vegas. I intend to confront her when the pie completes his investigation. We believe they will meet since I'm out of town. I intend to give them ample opportunity to do so before I come home. I was not aware that most affairs occur in the demographic group of 55-70 years old. I thought we had a very good marriage. She seemed content with where we were in life, and I believed she loved me as I did her. I loved her completely. Everything seems so surreal. Each day has brought things to light I never would have imagined. I guess at this point I want to know how many years of my life have been a lie, and why the life we had was not enough. Why was I not enough? Why was our children and grandchildren not enough? She is a beautiful woman, I always thought it was inside and out. I am going to divorce her. There is no path to reconciliation. I am not sure how scorched earth I will go. I am very angry at both of them. I will confront the doctor and his wife together. I can't say today exactly what else I will do. I think I have to take it one step at a time, and the first step is to learn as much as I can before they have a chance to collaborate their stories. He may just be the latest in line. I am not sure why I posted on Reddit, but I am glad I did. I wish I had chosen different language and apologize for the profanity. Thanks again for your support. I appreciate your concern for a stranger. Story 4. Love bombed by a mother with an infant. Wild story. Met this girl who seemed so nice, smiley, caring and of course, incredibly beautiful and S-timey. Had me sweating when I met her, and I don't usually get intimidated like that. We hit it off right away. We initially met for casual, but it felt like more was there, very electric feeling and chemistry was intense, so we both said let's date for real. I knew she had a kid, who was in fact 8 months old. I'm 39, she's 29. Looking at her, my mind is thinking wow, if that's what she looks like that soon after having a kid, this is a keeper. We ended up hanging out twice that week, different nights the next, and from that point on every weekend we'd spend 3-4 days together. After a month, she would bring the child with her because it would cost her $150,200 each night. She would sleep over and she's on mat leave and doesn't make money, and the baby daddy gives her little to nothing. I didn't mind. I have a fairly large house, and when she brought her child over the first night to sleep over, she put her down on some blankets on the floor. The next weekend I owned a crib and camera and put it in a spare bedroom. She cried. Really touched. We spent a lot of time talking, and I asked her a lot of questions about her situation to get a sense of how this came to be. She was married to a guy for 6, together for 9, who didn't treat her well, wouldn't let her work, or have a dog, and wanted a child, but she didn't. When they finally did try, he couldn't. She left him. He thought she was cheating on him anyways, he was controlling, she'd say. So she is single, starts playing the field, and boom, gets pregnant with some drug dealer gangster a few months later. Sometime along her pregnancy he told her he had 5 other kids, all under the age of 3. She kept the kid anyways. At some point, this drug dealer guy beat the crap out of her for speaking to other guys. After she had given the baby, he really went at her hard, and she would often go on about how her ex-husband and her built a great life. They made a bunch of money, but because of the marriage situation and him divorcing, she is left with not much at all but a small settlement, particularly because of the baby, with understandably, the ex-husband does not want to support. All in all, a sad situation. Of course, this drama is clearer in rear view. How it all happens was by me asking questions, caring, and of course being a white knight finding a damsel in distress. The time was incredible. She was a clear 9-10 physically. Fell for her. She had me come to her baby's church ceremony thing, photos of pumpkin patches with the kid. The child was starting to stay at my house when we'd hang out after month 1. Month 2 we were official and things moved fast. She's asked me that if eventually we'd have kids, would I treat this girl as my own? And I thought about it, and I would have. She would say that if she wasn't serious, she wouldn't bring her child around like this, she wouldn't mention these things, she's a mother. I quickly became a stepdad in training. We went on vacation to Mexico on the last week of the 2nd month. She had her mom come from Vancouver to babysit the child so we could go. We had a blast. It was really amazing, we got so close, it was something else. Such fire, such a beautiful time. We really fell for each other. However, last day there she's in the shower and we would often use each other's iPhone. We had our codes. She gets a text, "Hey babe, how's vacation?" I read up and it was clear they were more than friends, and in the end she admitted he came over a week before we left and S-time stuff happened. No penetration, but whatever. Cheated for sure. Mislead for sure, and put on a fake face all week and could have had me cancel the trip if she had any integrity. I was shocked. Floored. Didn't see that coming at all. Her own parents were calling me daddy to this child on the last days of this vacations when we'd FaceTime. She herself would so often tell me and show me how much she cared with gifts, acts of service and plans for the future, and I know there's so much we did that undeniably was amazing. If her goal was just to use me, in my opinion she was doing way too much. There's no way she wasn't falling for me in a way, but I realized that people can compartmentalize way better than I can. People still think they can have it all. What hurt the most is that photos of the child at this church ceremony and pumpkin patch I went to with them were sent to this guy. Of course, the photos that I wasn't in. Apparently this was a fling from right before we met that she said she cut off when I said I cut off my hookups and we agreed to be exclusive. When I discovered this stuff, her father eventually called me to see if there was any way I would take her back, that she's insecure and what she really needs is someone to set her straight and stuff. Not sure, but was getting a vibe like he'd want me to hit her to let her know who is boss? Not happening anyways. Can't set that straight. That's a betrayal and a person with very low moral compass and very high ability to manipulate and lie without being detected. Anyhow, super hurt. I wrote her a final letter making her realize how deceitful that all was and that I feel like I'm on Jerry Springer and haven't said a word since that at all. She sent letters, edible arrangements, and a month later called me, but I did not respond or pick up as hard as that has been. I know this is the right thing to do, but I felt like I was truly in love, but with who she pretended to be. So surprised that she could be that fake, especially with an infant in the mix, but also not surprised because of everything above. For anyone reading this and going through similar, yes, they cheated on you, but karma doesn't miss.